Jerry Salley.
Thank you, Butch. Thank y'all so much. It is such an honor to be here. It was such a great opportunity to reconnect with Butch and Nancy, and we had such a good time visiting down there. And we have been looking forward to this ever since we got the invitation. And we've been communicating with Brother Earl through email and just been counting the days that we got here. So we're excited to be here. I've been very blessed to be a songwriter my whole life. Produced a few records and sing a little bit here and there. But I'm going to share a few things that are on my heart today. This particular song that I'm going to start with, have any of you know an artist named Bradley Walker by chance? Bradley, if you don't know who Bradley Walker is, you need to check him out. He was born with a very unique form of muscular dystrophy, and even though his name is Walker, he's never walked a day of his life. Born in Athens, Alabama, and years ago, over 20 years ago, we met in Columbus, Ohio at a bluegrass festival I was playing, and it's called Musicians Against Childhood Cancer. It raises money for St. Jude's every year. But from that moment on, we've been really close friends, and a few years ago, we had a mutual friends named Joey and Rory Feek. Some of you may have remembered them, a married couple. They had a TV show on RFD TV for a long time. And unfortunately, Joey got sick and passed away in her 40s right after she had their only daughter. And one of her requests was for Bradley to sing at her funeral, which he did. And there was a couple there at the funeral named Bill and Gloria Gaither. And I've been trying to teach them how to write songs for a long time. But anyway, a couple of weeks after the funeral, Bill called Bradley, and he said, it was such an honor to meet you and hear you. It wasn't the right place and time to talk about this, but I wanted to call and ask you if you would consider recording a gospel record for me. He said, I'd like to get it out to the world, do a video on your life, and just introduce you to the world, your story to the world. And Bradley said, well, Bill, let me think okay, I think I'll do that. And so the next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call from Bradley asking me about this particular song. And he said, has anybody recorded that song you wrote, Call Me Old Fashioned? Because I'd played it for him with some friends, and just together, visiting one time a few weeks before that. And I said, no one's recorded that yet. He said, well, I'd like to record it for my new gospel record. And I said, well, Bradley, this really isn't a gospel song, really. He said, oh, yes, it is. To me, it's a gospel song. It talks about all the things that I believe in. And he recorded it, and it was the title of the album. So next time you're in Cracker Barrel having your Uncle Herschel's breakfast, maybe you'll check out a Bradley Walker CD. He's actually with a band now called Brothers of the Heart, with Ben Isaacs and Jimmy Fortune and Mike Rogers. They're incredible. But anyway, this is a song I get made fun of sometimes for being old-fashioned, but they can make as much fun of me as they want to. I believe in making my money the hard way, so I work for it. And every job I do with pride. And I believe in keeping a promise that I make. You've got my word on it when I shake your hand and look you in the eye. And I believe in Old Glory and putting your hand over your heart and taking off your hat when that anthem starts. Call me old-fashioned, call me out of touch for having faith in the way it was when a mom and pop was the place we shopped and a check was good for cashing. Call me out of style, that's who I am. When a neighbor's down, I reach out my hand and open up a lady's door without her asking. Call me old-fashioned. I believe a man should have to ask permission for a woman's hand before he gets down on one knee. I believe in passing down traditions every chance you can, so children learn what family means. And sitting around the supper table every night at 6 o'clock and talking about our day with the TV off. Call me old-fashioned, call me out of touch for having faith in the way it was when a golden band on someone's hand meant love was everlasting. Call me out of style, that's who I am. I believe kids need a mom and a dad, and they're worth working out any problems that you're having. Call me old-fashioned. Out of style, that's who I am. I still say yes sir and thank you ma'am, and wish kids still prayed in school before their classes. Sometimes I shake my head and ask myself, what happened? Call me old-fashioned. Call me old-fashioned. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, several years ago now, I've been in Nashville a little over 40 years, and I remember watching Butch. Butch had a record deal not long after I moved to town on, I want to say Mary Tyler Moore Records or MTM Records? Mercury. And I saw him on TV a lot. He was on Ralph Emery a whole lot. And he was not only a great talent as a singer and entertainer, he could imitate all these different stars like Willie Nelson. Have you ever done your Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash for these folks? Okay. Well, he does them better than Willie, and he's better than Willie and Johnny were. But years ago, not long after I moved to Nashville, I got a job at Opryland USA, which was a theme park there. And I was in a show called Country Music USA. And we would imitate different artists, you know, and I got to know so many people like Minnie Pearl and Porter Wagner and Roy Acuff and folks like that really helped me along when I was early in my career. And I played Flatt and Scruggs in the show. It was me and a boy from Paducah, Kentucky. His name was Steve Chapman. I played Lester Flatt and he was Earl Scruggs. And we became really close friends and started writing songs together. And the next thing I know, his name is Stephen Curtis Chapman, and he's got a record deal. And one of the most recorded songs in my career is a song I wrote with Steve called His Strength is Perfect. And in 2009, that song was put in the Baptist hymnal for the first time. And we're working on the Presbyterians and everybody else now. But I'm not going to do that song for you this morning. I just want to let you know that I wrote it. how many of you have children? Okay, how many of you have girls? That's why I've got all this gray hair, you see. 3 girls and a boy. The baby's a boy. Kind of wish he would have been born first. He was a little bit easier to raise. But we had 3 girls, and unlike the 2 oldest daughters, anytime a toy would break at the house, they would always be crying to Daddy, Daddy, I need a new toy. My toy's broken. But Maggie, my baby girl, anytime anything broke, she would come to me and she'd say, Daddy, can you fix this? And so I was thinking about that as I was writing this song. We needed a girl's name for the song. And even though it's not her entire story, it's about someone of my baby girl's character. And this song, it's funny how these songs find their way. You never know when you write a song exactly where it's going to go. It goes where God wants it to go. This was kind of written as a country song, but it became one of the biggest gospel songs I've ever written. It was recorded by the Tallies several years ago. And some people call it the Maggie song. Some people call it the Raggedy Ann song. It's called The Broken Ones. Maggie came home one day with a Raggedy Ann. said, Mama, looky here what I found in the neighbor's garbage can. It had a missing left arm and a right button eye hanging by a thread. She carried it gently up to her room and laid it on her bed. With her other dolls, she loves the broken ones, the ones that need a little patching up. She looks for diamonds in the rough and makes them shine like new. It really doesn't take that much, a willing heart and a tender touch. If everybody loved like she does, there'd be a lot less broken ones. 20 years later in a shelter on 18th Avenue, a 17-year-old girl turns up all black and blue, with needle tracks in her left arm, almost too weak to stand. She says, I'm lost and I need help, as Maggie takes her hand and says, come on in. She loves the broken ones, the ones that need a little patching up. She looks for diamonds in the rough and makes them shine like new. It really doesn't take that much, a willing heart and a tender touch. If everybody loved like she does, there'd be a lot less broken ones. If you call her an angel, she'll be quick to say to you, she's just doing what the one who died for her would do. Love the broken ones, the ones that need a little patching up. Look for diamonds in the rough and make them shine like new. It really doesn't take that much, a willing heart and a tender touch. If everybody loved like he does, there'd be a lot less broken ones. If everybody loved like she does, there'd be a lot less broken ones. Maggie came home one day with a raggedy, raggedy Ann. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Well, I'd only plan on doing a couple of songs, but Butch had encouraged me to maybe try one more. And I can't decide. I think I'm going to go with a brand. Do you care if I play a fairly new song that you've probably never heard before? I wrote this about a year or so ago, a couple years ago now, I guess. And I actually recorded it on a Christmas album. It's kind of a Christmas song, kind of not. But I was watching a guy on TV one night, and I won't tell you what news network it was. You can probably guess. But this guy had about 5 or 6 different degrees after his name. And he sounded like one of the most educated idiots I had ever heard in my life. Because he was all talking about how all these different things that he knows about the universe and the world and how it's going to go, and how it was begun, how it started and all that kind of stuff. So I wrote this little song, and I can't thank you all so much for having me. Butch, I love you so much, brother. This opportunity, Mr. Earl and Doris, thank you so much. I've got to meet so many people, and I'm looking forward to meeting even more before the weekend's over. But thank you all for allowing me to come and share, and I've sure enjoyed. I loved last night. That was that message last night, Dr. Jones. That was incredible. And we need to educate more people about what is going on. We have an extremely ignorant society. I don't know if it's because they want to be, or they just don't care to learn. This stuff is out there for you to learn, and you can find out about it and find the truth. I have a lot of people in the music. I'm in the music business. Luckily, I'm older and I've been blessed more than I'll ever deserve. And I finally got to the point where I can speak out and stand up and speak out. And I have a lot of friends in the music business who are scared to death to say anything about God or against all this transgender crap that's going on. And you can't be afraid to stand up and speak up and teach these kids right from wrong. If their parents aren't going to teach them right from wrong, we have to step in as grandparents and brothers, aunts, and uncles. We have got to help these kids understand that they are what God created them to be. And so I want to try this. I haven't sang this in a while, but I think this kind of goes a little bit with the theme of today. So, they saw a star up in the sky and took off for that guiding light. Night after night they followed its lead. Ain't it crazy what wise men believe? Through countless miles of desert sand, they found their way to Bethlehem, bearing gifts for a child they'd never seen. Ain't it crazy what wise men believe? They call him Messiah, Lord and King of Kings, sent from God to save us, you and me. Oh, ain't it crazy what wise men That was years ago. So much has changed. Folks in the know in this modern age say there's no God. Don't be so naive. Ain't it crazy what wise men believe? But I call him Messiah, Lord and King of Kings, sent from God to save us, you and me. Oh, call me crazy, but I still yes, they call him Messiah, Lord and King of Kings, sent from God to save us, you and me. Oh, ain't it crazy what wise men believe? Around the world, every walk of life still bow their heads, say a prayer at night to a God above they never have seen. Ain't it crazy what wise men believe? God bless y'all. Thank you so much.